Welcome back inside the Dignity Health Studios here at the Bakersfield Californian. Episode 2 of Condors Unleashed. Ryan Holt and Kevin Bartle. We're the men in black here this afternoon. Thanks for taking your lunch hour with us. The guy to our right, to Bart's left in the white.
We're like an Oreo cookie.
Yeah, it's great.
Can I say that?
It's well planned.
Are Oreo cookies on the diet list, Coach? Can the players have Oreos?
That's one of the worst things for you.
Oreo cookies?
Just a short story. When my dad had his heart transplant years ago, they told him one of his biggest issues was he ate too many Oreo cookies.
What about Cheez-Its? I eat a lot of Cheez-Its.
Not good for you, buddy.
Cheez-Its aren't?
No.
What?
Got to lay off.
We're in trouble.
Clogging the arteries, boys.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're going to tell me I can't eat the pizza when it gets here.
Pizza's not good for you either.
Come on. It's got all the food groups.
I'll tell you this much, though, right? I get into the office about 6:50 yesterday. I'm driving down Truxton. It's a guy running across the street playing Frogger. Who was it? Condors head coach Troy Mann. He was getting his workout in at like 6.
Dodging
6:30.
traffic? Is that what you were doing?
6:20 to 7:20 every day, boys.
Wow.
Yeah.
You see me there.
Yeah. I seen you.
Yeah.
Did you see me wink at you?
Yeah.
No, I get up at 5:30 every morning. So, but it's an early night, boys. So when I stop texting you at 9:30, you know why.
Condors head coach Troy Mann joining us here in Coach's Corner. And Coach, you're through opening weekend, right? All the festivities of opening night, things kind of settling down, but you look and you make some changes here this week, and you don't just make some changes, you bring in some big names here to Condors Town this week.
Well, I think, we were able to assess our team after the weekend, and I thought we were really good Friday night against a Colorado team that came in here and probably deserved the 2 points, but we only got one. Then we go in and play Ontario, which we thought was going to be a real strong team in our conference. And, we just felt that if we had a chance to make moves, even if we won both games, to be honest with you, with a couple of these moves we've made, we would have made them regardless, because at the end of the day, we want to be the best team possible, and we want to come out of the conference in the spring, and that's what it's all about. So it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and if we can add players to strengthen our team, we will. Kessel was on our radar since middle of July. I started talking to him. He wanted to play in Orlando because he played for that coach last year, and he had like 10 former teammates. And they just couldn't fit him in on the salary cap, and we were his next choice. And we were looking for a right shot guy to anchor the power play on one of our units. So he was a no-brainer.
This is a strange time of year. At this point in time, every team in the league they're cutting guys. I mean, over the last 5-6 days or whatever, they had to trim the fat from training camp. They get out of that first weekend. There's guys that maybe are sitting at home that were waiting for that perfect gig. It never came. They're hitting the panic button a little bit, trying to call around. I mean, this is a weird time of year, isn't it, where players are actually out there?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at an NHL training camp, it's usually 3 weeks long, and we had 10 days to prepare, and basically an expansion team with one guy that played here the full year last year. So we got to look at some young guys. We started the first weekend with 10 rookies, which was the most in the league. And after making a couple moves and adding some more experience, we're down to 8, which is still a lot if you go through the rosters. And, Neil was a pickup that we thought, J.O. had seen him in playoffs a couple years ago. He had a point a game in the playoffs. He's a big body. So why not give him a look? We had the first pick in the waiver draft coming out. It's worth a look. Now, whether he pans out or not, time will tell. But, those are just little moves that are kind of no-brainers to try and improve your hockey club.
And then we broke some news in Holtby's headlines. You acquire Ryan Garlock from the Greenville Road Warriors for basically nothing, future considerations. And we also get Brett Lyon back down from Abbotsford. So those are 2 pretty big moves here early in the season.
Yeah, I mean, the Lion thing was, great for him. We were able to get him a camp spot in Abbotsford. He made the most of it, earned himself a PTO, and, he will be officially coming in tomorrow. A guy that's physical, can play, and certainly not afraid to drop the glove. So that's great for us. When it came to Garlock, we're preparing this team without Joel Broda. He's doing very well up there. Oak City is extremely thin, in my opinion, at the forward position. Garlock is a first-line player at this level. I mean, his resume speaks for himself. He's hardly played in the ECHL over his career. Still a young vet at 27. Greenville smartly moves him out west, so they don't have to play against him.
Right.
And it seems like Greenville loves to trade with Bakersfield.
We love Dean Stork. We're big Dean Stork guys here in Bakersfield.
He's sending some good players, and so we need to address the center position with Broda up, and he's a tremendous player who I'm familiar with as well.
You know, Garlock, here's a guy with 300 games, AHL experience. How does he get forced out of a roster spot?
Well, at the end of the day, he's a vet at the AHL level, and it's I believe it's 260 or 280, and he's either a vet exempt or a full vet in the AHL, and it's just the jobs are tough to come by, and unfortunately for him, a young guy at 27. He just needs to wait his turn at the AHL level, and hopefully maybe a team opens up with a vet spot, and maybe he's the call. But right now, he's going to hone his skills here in Bakersfield, and I think it's going to be a tremendous addition here.
And 2 games coming up here this weekend. We got a couple questions on Facebook and Twitter. Obviously, you got to look at Tyler Bunz here. Played Friday night against Colorado. Paul Karpowicz played Saturday night in Ontario. Are we going to see this rotation early on in the season, or is it a situation where you're looking to play one more than the other?
Well, it's kind of a game-to-game basis. I told them we were going to split the first weekend, which we did. Bunzy will get the start Friday against Stockton.
You're revealing your starting goalie already, Coach.
Yeah,
I know it's Wednesday.
Yeah, he's going to start Friday, and then we'll go from there. And then it's just a matter of once we get to the 3-3s over the next 2 weeks. Obviously, one guy will play 2 out of 3, and but over the weekend here, Bunzy gets Friday, and at the end of the day, we'll see what happens Friday night.
And what we want to do is we want to take a look inside the Coach's Corner. We're going to try and do this each and every week. We're going to take a look at some specific things from the past weekend and try and get coaches' insight on what exactly is going on. So I think we have a couple of penalty kills queued up here from the game on Friday night against Colorado. The Condors penalty kill very good over the first 2 games. So obviously an attacking zone face-off off the PK. And it all starts with the face-off, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, pause it right there if you could. But, that was a clear... we put the D back. We've got some. One of the strengths over our first 2 games has been face-offs, and as you can see there, we put the D on the goal line because we're confident that our center is going to win that draw, and it should be an automatic clear, and that's 30 seconds right off the hop, and then it puts a little bit less pressure, and then we want to get up ice. The guys have the green light to go. We don't want to be chasing behind the net unless we absolutely have to. They got to be at least a stick length away to chase. So in this case here, nobody chases. They have to make that D stop behind the net as well. And then we get gone what I call as a 1-3 wedge. You can see our F2, and now we're going. A dump is a good thing. If we can get those guys to dump it, and then we want to get to our areas. And you can see as long as we keep that puck to the outside along the boards, it makes it very difficult for the power play to get set up. And our PK is extremely aggressive and has done well so far in preseason in the first 2 games, and I still think it's got room for improvement.
Right from the bat, now we're lining up here for another draw. So you have different positions for that other defenseman you mentioned on the goal line. Where else could you put him?
Well, I mean, he could be up on the line here. In a normal state, if we were struggling on draws, I would definitely have both D up on the lines.
Okay.
But when we're doing well, and you can see how aggressive we are there, we're up. We're forcing perimeter shots. Great battles there in front. Our D need to do a good job of boxing out, and we want to keep things on the outside here. And you can see that we have a good share there. And Shaper ends up with a puck, and we clear another, 30 seconds off.
It looked like he was looking, though. Can I make a rush here?
And I was probably yelling from the bench, get it down 200 feet. I suspect that's what I was saying. And you can see, again, we have to make that D-stop behind the net, which we do there. And then we get into our 1-3 wedge. And you can see great wedge there. Again, we want to pinch that guy off there. Now we want to go. We want to swarm. Now we're out. We want to push that half-wall guy, and you can see our D active there. And that wasn't a great rotation, just an okay rotation, only because Leach was late. Leach can't be late there. When his partner goes on the guy, then the D are like anchors back there. One goes, the other has to go. But you can see we're doing a good job. Everything's on the outside. Now we're back up. Great job by Leachy coming back to the middle of the ice there. And we got another clear. And you're going to give up. You're probably going to give up some scoring chances, and your goalie's got to bail you out. Your goalie's your best PK guy.
When the guys do, you mentioned the wedge that they have, and that's for zone entry. And once they're in, they have to find a way to get themselves into that box, right?
Absolutely. And, I talk about areas all the time, and I split the zone into 4s. And we have strong side, weak side, and we just want to make sure that we're getting our right reads in terms of our push. And when I say strong side, that means their guys have the puck on the strong side of the ice, and we got certain ways that we want to I say push down, trap low. We want to try and push that puck down low towards the goal line, and our D can pinch them off there and make them work harder to get their scoring chances.
So some really good kills from Friday night. One of the things you mentioned, I think going down on the bus actually to Ontario on Saturday about the penalty kill is short shifts. What is the benefit in that, in having your first group go out there and be really short? Because I think in even my analysis, it's always two sets of guys, and you want the first set of guys to go for half and the second set of guys to go for half. But you were talking about keeping things short. Why?
Well, we want to be aggressive, and we want to be up, and the only way to be aggressive is to not get tired. And if you're out there long, then all of a sudden we can't execute our system because you're too tired to even make your legs go. And I just talked to Gary Steffes here this morning again about that. He's a very good penalty killer. And if he's out there for the first 30 seconds, if he comes off, I'll get him back out there again.
Right.
But if he takes up 50, 60 seconds and I go back with the second unit, most likely he's not getting back out in the kill. So why not go out for 25, 30, come off, let two other guys go, and I'll come back with you. And you'll be fresh again and be able to be aggressive. And that's the rule. You'd really like to rotate 3 pairs. I mean, 4, you might get 4 in if you could, but guys, they think they can stay out there a little bit longer than they should. And but at the end of the day, that's one of the goaltending and key changes at the right times are crucial for a PK because you want to stay aggressive.
Is power play and penalty kill an adjustment for you as a coach here at this level, because there are only 10 forwards, where at the AHL level you have 4 full lines, you can maybe, as you say, roll through more guys?
Yeah, at the AHL level you definitely use more guys, right? Because you've got the 12 forwards, and usually those bottom 6 guys are PK guys. When it comes to this level and you only have 10, you might want to go back to a Steffes and Morley, or a Steffes, Neil, who's going to do some PK in this weekend. Maybe those guys, if they're not seeing much power play time, you can double up on them in terms of getting them back out there.
Some of the best penalty killers I've seen at this level and in this league have been leading scorers on teams. Guys like Costello in Colorado, or Stephane Goulet. When he was here for 2 straight years, a few years back, he was one of our best penalty killers. He was our leading scorer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, for example, Chris Collins, who I think at the end of the day is going to put up some points for us, very, very good penalty killer. And he's had that experience at the next level of doing a lot of PK, and because he was a bottom 6 guy, well, he comes to the ECHL, and he's going to be relied on to score on, but he's going to be a good PK guy as well.
Well, Coach, thanks for coming in as always to Coach's Corner.
No problem,
Get back
guys.
to work, huh? We won't keep you too long.
That's right.
Hopefully you get some pizza here. Is Mike's
No,
here yet?
he has to leave before the pizza. He
He's
can't
gonna
have
leave
it. He
before-
already said no pizza.
No pizza today. I'm watching.
I'm not believing
We
this.
ordered a large with Cheez-Its on it and Oreos crumbled up.
We won't
Is that
watch.
good?
He won't watch. I think Chase Shaber is going to have some pizza, so he won't. He'll go out of the room for that one. But Coach, appreciate the time as
problem,
always.
guys, anytime.
Chase Shaber will join us in our next segment. We'll get our player interview. We'll break down his goal from over the weekend as well. It's all live on Condors Unleashed from the Dignity Health Studios here at the Bakersfield, California, and also on Fox Sports Radio 970. Stay tuned.